To start, let's talk about the structures that form the border of the axilla. So first off, we have the anterior border, shown here in red. This is comprised of the pectoralis major as well as the pectoralis minor. We have the medial wall here along the ribs, which is comprised of the serratus anterior. We have the lateral wall, shown here in yellow, which is essentially made up of the humerus. And then finally, we have the posterior wall, which is made up of the latissimus dorsi, teres major, subscapularis, as well as the scapula. We can now talk about the different spaces and intervals of the axilla. First up, we can talk about the quadrangular space, shown here. It's comprised of the long head of the triceps, teres minor, teres major, also shown here, as well as the humerus bone. Next, we have the triangular space, shown here in blue. It's made up of teres minor, teres major, as well as the long head of the triceps. Additionally, the circumflex scapular artery travels through here. We're briefly going to talk about just a few of the muscles that act on the scapula as well as the arm. Not shown in this picture, but would be right about here, is our trapezius. It's innervated by cranial nerve 11 and elevates, retracts, and rotates the scapula superiorly, as well as extends the head and the neck. Additionally, we have latissimus dorsi, shown here, which is innervated by the thoracodorsal nerve, and adducts, extends, as well as medially rotates the scapula. We have levator scapulae, which is innervated by the dorsal scapular nerve, and of course serves to elevate as well as inferiorly rotate the scapula. Two other muscles innervated by the dorsal scapular nerve are rhomboid minor as well as rhomboid major. They both serve to elevate and adduct as well as retract the scapula. Our next two muscles are innervated by the suprascapular nerve. We have the supraspinatus as well as the infraspinatus, both shown here in green. Supraspinatus initiates and assists the deltoid in adduction, and the infraspinatus works in adduction of the arm as well as external rotation of the scapula. The deltoid is shown here and is innervated by the axillary nerve. Our last two muscles to talk about today are teres minor and teres major. Teres major is innervated by the subscapular nerve and assists in extending the arm as well as adduction and medial rotation of the scapula. Teres minor is innervated by the axillary nerve and assists in external rotation as well as a little bit of weak adduction of the scapula.